What is up, KOD Nation? Good morning to the Yankees universe. This is another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. How we doing out there? Hope all is well. Hope everybody got their coffee too. We are here. We are tapping in. Love the mornings, even though it was a bad night, but still love the mornings. A lot to touch on. Yesterday's episode was awesome. Thank you so much to Jigga Man Porto. Thank you also to the new subscribers. We are almost at 420. Hit those likes, hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time tuning in, let us know. Write in the chat, in the comments. Let us know where you calling in from. Let us know where you watching from. Let us know who your fandom is. Let them know what team you're a part of. To everybody that's watching on Instagram Live, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. If this is your first time, or if you just don't know how this thing operates, let me help you out. Go to my bio, click that link in my Instagram bio, and it would take you right over to the YouTube chat, right over to the Twitch chat, and let's have this conversation as well. Follow me on Twitter, Yankees Morning Brew, KOD Media. Follow me on Instagram if you aren't. That's Project Nerd HQ to those who are watching in Twitch and in YouTube land. Hope all is well, but let's get into this. JMP TV, Jigga Man Portal, what is good? Happy Friday, happy Friday. Oh, happy Tuesday. Wow, I got so excited for the week. I thought it was Friday. But hope all is well, fellas. Hope all is well, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody of all ages. How y'all doing out there? Yesterday, I forgot to drop this because Jigga Man and I was just having such a great conversation back and forth. You guys remember when I went to that Bernie Williams event? Shout out to Tuzio, but check it out.
Hi, HQ.
Hello.
So, we are headed off to a VIP event here in New York City.
Yes.
You were invited.
Yes.
Correct. By
Shout out to KOD.
KOD.
Hold on. There's a little bit of delay. I'm going to try to do it this way then. Just give me a second, because there is a delay. Don't want there to be a delay. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, yesterday was awesome. Having that conversation with Jigga Man was awesome. I know it was upsetting in the nighttime. Yankees Twitter yesterday was a great place to be. There was a lot going back and forth, especially with this Josh Donaldson situation. My guy DSJ Delano Still Jr. Hope all is well, DSJ. Hope all is well, DSJ. I'm about to drop this video from the other day, from last week when I was at that special event that KOD Media sent me out to. I'm just uploading it to the video clip via StreamYard and play it that way. But just bear with me. Like I said, Yankees played the Baltimore Orioles. Now I'm gonna just start off with this while this video is just uploading. If I was to tell you that the Yankees played a game in which Aaron Judge blasted 2 home runs, he has 17 to lead all of Major League Baseball. Garrett Cole struck out 11 batters, pitched 8 innings, season high 8 innings. If I was to tell you those 2 things to start a conversation, you guys would think this was a Yankees win. But no, unfortunately not. Garrett Cole in that 3rd inning yesterday, it was just the 3rd inning that he gave up a home run in the 5th inning, but it was it was one of those freak home runs. Hey, guy hit it out, the guy hit it out. But in that 3rd inning, that's when Garrett Cole struggled. Garrett Cole just didn't have it in that 3rd inning. Not going to totally blame him, not going to totally fault him, but he bounced back for the rest of the outing. Like I said, he did give up a solo home run, make it 5-4. Yankees was trailing and trying to claw their way back the entire game. But when you have Aaron Judge getting 2 home runs and Garrett Cole pitching 8 innings, striking out 11, double-digit strikeouts, you expect to win the game. But unfortunately, that's not how it went. The Baltimore Orioles, the young and up-and-coming Baltimore Orioles, who had Adley Rutschman in the lineup, Adley Rutschman, the young phenom, the young kid that I think is going to be phenomenal, he was 0 for 3. He almost had a home run against Garrett Cole, but he was 0 for 3. I could take an Orioles loss if the loss means that Adley Rushman went off, but I'm not going to take an Orioles loss and the rest of the team goes off. If you understand what I'm saying. But I have that video here. If DSJ, we can run it back and get the absolutely DSJ, run it back and get that win tonight. DSJ, check this out. Let me know.
Hi, HQ.
Hello.
So we are headed off to a VIP event here in New York City.
Yes.
You were invited.
Yes.
Correct. By
Shout out to KOD.
KOD.
Nice adhesion.
Nice.
My guy Jigga Man.
Now I have a question. You're about to meet Bernie Williams.
Yes.
Yankees superstar.
Legend.
Yes. What are you going to ask him?
Don't know. Several questions I want to ask him. Like, I wonder if he's Team Edwards or Team Jacob. Like, I want to know, like, what's his favorite generation of Pokemon? Is he a Gen 1 guy? Is he a Gen 2 guy? Like, if he had to choose when it comes to the evolutions, which Eevee would he choose? I don't know. Several things I want to ask him.
Alrighty. So let's go.
And it was an awesome event. I have to learn and teach myself to like look at the camera, but this ADHD of mine that has me always just looking all around the place. But I have to just learn to just look and just focus into the camera, just like here on Instagram Live. Chino, what is good, my guy? Hope all is well. Like I always say, click that link in the bio, come join the conversation. But yeah, awesome event. Like I said, shout out to KOD Media. Shout out to Knights of Dejan. First and foremost, shout out my guy Jigga Man Porto, and shout out to Bernie Williams and Tiki Barber for keeping it classy. Especially Tiki Barber at the end. If you guys listen to Tiki Barber on WFAN, I'm a big fan of Teeny and Tiki. Big fan. Get into what happened between Teeny and Paul O'Neill in a little bit, but I'm a big fan of the show. And if you guys saw right there, me and Tiki was cracking up. I was talking about what's your Bloody Mary? Because if you guys know, if you listen to it, Tiki Barber is a big Bloody Mary guy. He's a big Bloody Mary fan. So I had to ask him, listen, you got a Stella over there. I need you to live your life by the code. Where's your Bloody Mary? He was like, he saved those for breakfast. So breakfast of champions. Probably had one at 9 a.m. before he got to WFAN. But hey, you know what? If you do, you do. I have me a little Irish coffee myself, But as I was saying, over the weekend, we touched on it yesterday. It was a Tim Anderson situation and Josh Donaldson. I don't mean to rehash it. I'm going to just talk about it for 3 seconds, 3 minutes, and I'm going to be out. But on Twitter yesterday, a lot of you Yankee fans out there, you guys were self-reporting on yourself. That's all I'm going to say. It had me scratching my head with a lot of your response to this. If you guys haven't seen the news last night, if you live under the rock, where you been? But Josh Donaldson was suspended by Major League Baseball for 1 game. The Yankees put Josh Donaldson on the COVID IL list, so he was out for yesterday's game. Is it a coincidence that the Yankees put him on the list right when Major League Baseball gave him that 1 game suspension? I'm not sure, but all I'm gonna say is this, and someone on Twitter said this yesterday. If you want to understand the tone of the situation, or if you want to understand the basic nature of the situation, just look at the fact that Not one Yankee teammate, not one of Josh Donaldson's teammates have come out to defend what he said. I'll just say that again. If you want to understand the tone of the situation, or if you want to understand the gravity of the situation, just look at it from this point of view. Not one of his Yankees teammates came out to defend his comments. Not Aaron Judge, not Anthony Rizzo, not even his new best friend Garrett Cole. No, none of his Yankees teammates have come out to defend him. Now, I just brought up the situation that happened on the Brandon Tanny and Tiki Barber show with Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill was set to go on the show to, talk about his book. Paul O'Neill decided to tell them that he's not going to answer any questions about the situation. And credit to Brandon Tierney, credit to Brandon, credit to him, because he came out with a statement. Now, basically, to sum it up, he said this. He said, for the integrity of the show, matter of fact, let me just look it up, because I want to give his entire Brandon Tier, his entire take when it comes to this. So just bear with me, bear with me. Okay, I got it. So he said yesterday, he said, my number one priority is the show. The audience, that will never change. When we accept dictated terms of what we can and cannot ask, and we accept all of that, all credibility is lost. That would never happen. So to avoid the biggest topic of the weekend, simply cannot have it. No disrespect at all. And with a statement like that, you got to respect it. You got to respect it. As somebody who's gotten into this game when it comes to like being a YouTuber personality, somebody that covers the Yankees, somebody that covers the Knicks, I've done different interviews with different, Sports Illustrated guys, different, just former NBA players, former world champions with the Knicks, and I was never put into a situation where someone told me, do not ask this question or do not ask that question. So I can't speak on it personally, but as somebody who believes he has a moral compass, believes that I care about my credibility, if that situation would ever was to happen, I think I would have the same response like Brandon. Shout out to my guy Ron, still Knick fans. Listen, great show yesterday. If you guys are big into the NBA, don't necessarily have to be Knick fans. Check out Still Knick fans. They had a special guest on yesterday, Ron and John, breaking down the draft. It was phenomenal. I went on a run, not a run, but a walk last night, and it was the perfect thing to listen to while I was outside New York City at 12 in the morning, listening to the sounds of the traffic and the horns beeping. But Ron and John, great show last night. Awesome show. Great playback. Totally appreciate you guys. Like I said, Fardo's still Knick fans. They may be Knick fans, but you get more NBA content than you would think of. So shout out my guy Ron. But yeah, most definitely when it comes to this situation, Josh Donaldson, I said it yesterday, is a dick. He's a total dick. Straight up. He should have never said it. Point blank, period. If Tim Anderson feels how he feels, that's how he feels. Tim Anderson didn't come out and say that it was racist. It was Tony La Russa. But it has an undertone to it. So let's just move on from that. Let's just leave that where it is. Leave that in the wayside, because, and I said it yesterday with Jigga Man, this right here, between this and the Nestor Cortez situation, it's taken away from this great year that the Yankees are having. It's really taken away from this awesome year. We got Aaron Judge, who has 17 home runs right now. We have Giancarlo Stanton, who's hitting 290, who's looking like an all-star. We have Nestor Cortez, who's having the best season that any Yankees pitcher, let alone him, any Yankees pitcher has had in the past 20 years, that, in my opinion, so let's enjoy this. Our bullpen was it got injuries. Yeah, we understand that. But Garrett Cole yesterday, yeah, you gave up 5 runs, but you was able to, stick it out there for those 8 innings. You got to tip your hat off. That's our $300 million ace. Listen, and he came yesterday. He showed up. He did what he had to do. It's just yesterday was tough. It was a tough game to watch. Not really watch because the Yankees were in it, but it's just heartbreaking, And then when you look at the lineup, I'll get to the lineup in a second. But like I said, 2 home runs yesterday. 2 home runs yesterday. I'm a back up the Brinks truck. You have to back up the Brinks truck because you have to pay my man Aaron Judge. You got to pay him. 7 years, $315. I said it yesterday. Mark it. That's going to be what it is. 7 years, $315. That's going to bring him $45 million a year. It's going to be more than what Scherzer's getting. It's going to be the highest paid baseball player in the game. He's going to have the highest annual contract when it comes to yearly salary. Pay that man. It may not be the 10-year, 13-year deal that he may have wanted, but pay this man 7 years, $315. Sign him up. You're the Yankees. Behind the Dallas Cowboys, you're the second wealthiest team in all of professional sports. Behind the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Yankees, it's the highest value when it comes to how much the team is worth. Behind the Dallas Cowboys, the Yankees are second. Pay this man. You have the money. Now I understand it. When we gave A-Rod that money, he came off of 2 MVPs. He was A-Rod. Of course, I get it. I totally get it. I totally understand. 500 home runs at the time. I get it. I totally understand. But what Aaron Judge is doing right now, especially that he's a homegrown Yankee, you came up through your system, drafted him. This is a guy who went to community college, did what he had to do. So his work ethic has always been there. It's never been a question about Aaron Judge's work ethic because it's always been there. He's always been consistent. Now, injuries have plagued him these last few years. I give you that. But last year was the question, what can we get from him? Is he healthy? Is he just going to be a splash in the pan? No, he showed you he was healthy last year. And right now, the season he's having right now, he is having a better season this year than he had when he was a rookie, where he had that breakout season of 50 home runs. Keith, what is good? Listen, I agree with you 100%. Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. I mean, Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, needs to sell the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is the human embodiment of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Jerry Jones, he is the vampire from the first Blade movie. Like, Jerry Jones is just an old raisin that just was in the sun too long, that his skin just dried out. So Jerry Jones needs to sell this team and just, go on vacation for the rest of the year. Go on vacay. Keith, not sure, Keith and Ron, you guys came a bit late. Why not? I'm gonna just play this real quick, just because I like seeing myself on the screen. But watch this video. This is from the event that happened the other day with Bernie Williams and Tiki Barber.
Hi, HQ.
No.
So we are headed off to a VIP event here in New York City.
Yes.
You were invited.
Yes.
Correct. By
Shout out to KOD.
KOD.
Nice adhesion.
Nice. Now,
my guy Jigga Man.
Now I have a question. You're about to meet Bernie Williams.
Yes.
Yankees superstar.
Legend.
Yes. What are you going to ask him?
Don't know. Several questions I want to ask him. Like, I wonder if he's Team Edwards or Team Jacob. Like, I want to know, like, what's his favorite generation of Pokemon? Is he a Gen 1 guy? Is he a Gen 2 guy? Like, if he had to choose when it comes to the evolutions, which Eevee would he choose? I don't know. Several things I want to ask him.
Alrighty. So let's go. Stadium.
Boom. Hope y'all enjoyed that. But yeah, when it comes to the Yankees, back up that Brinks truck and sign my guy Aaron Judge. Sign him. And Keith, yo, bro, we gotta talk, my guy, because every weekend I'm seeing you at these Yankee games. Like, what's up, my guy? You don't gotta say if you got a connection or whatever, but next time you go to a game, hit me up. I'm trying to hang out with you, player. But to yesterday's game, bring up the lineups. I know it's a bit ugly, but I'm gonna start off with the Yankees. Matter of fact, I'll start off with the Orioles. Since they did win, I'll start off with the Orioles. I'll be nice. I'll save that dumpster fire of a lineup for after this. So, yesterday for the Orioles, they had Cedric Mullins leading off. Cedric Mullins, aka a guy I want to be a future Yankee. He was 1 of 5 from at the plate last night. Got Austin Hayes right after him, 1 for 4. Trey Mancini, one of the greatest stories and one of the good stories in baseball. He was 2 for 4. You got Ryan Mountcastle last night, was 0 for 4. The rookie I was talking about, Adley Rutschman, was 0 for 4 as well. My apologies. I thought it was 0 for 3. But he was DHing last night, not behind the plate, but he was 0 for 4. Rougned Odor, we had my guy Rougned Odor was 1 for 4 as well. You know what I think what it is? Whenever I talk about Jerry Jones, this happens. I get kicked off of the internet. So I apologize, Mr. Jerry Jones. I apologize, Mr. Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to talk about you no more. But let me get back to the show and stop kicking me off the internet, please. I apologize. But like I was saying, we had Rougned Odor, the bearded one, the godly beard. Rougned Odor. Rugi was 1 for 4 last night. Then you had Urias, who had that home run. He was 3 or 4 last night. Chirinas, the catcher, who we may could use because our catcher situation right now is just he was 1 of 3. Yeah, Chris Owens last night, the shortstop, the backup shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles. He was 0 for 4. Now, when it comes to the pitching, Jordan Lyles, he was pretty good. You know, he gave up 3 runs. He was charged for, it was 4 runs, but he was only charged for 3. One of them came on an error. But last night, he pitched 6 2/3 innings over, I think he had 117 pitches, and you don't see that in this day and age of baseball whatsoever. But Jordan Lyles, 6 2/3, 117 pitches, 5 hits, those 3 runs like I talked about, even though he gave up 4, only charged for 3, 2 walks, and he did have 8 strikeouts. So it's a solid game for Jordan Lyles. And the Baltimore Orioles needed Jordan Lyles to do what Garrett Cole did, because apparently the day before they had a slobber knocker against the Tampa Bay Rays where their bullpen had to pitch 11 innings. But after Jordan Lyles, Batista came in. He pitched the inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 2. And then their closer came in, Lopez. He pitched the inning, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. The winning pitcher of the night, for record, Jordan Lyles, which improves his record to 3 and 4, and Lopez with his 5th save of the season. So shout out to the Orioles. Listen, we may be a Yankee show, but at the same time, you can't just be like that. You got to be able to call it down the middle. So giving credit where credit's due, the Baltimore Orioles, they showed up last night when we didn't show up. Now let's see why we didn't show up. Because that lineup last night was garbage. Just garbage. See, right now, as you can see, this Yankees lineup is garbage. We got Anthony Rizzo leading it off for some weird reason. He was 0 for 4. We got Aaron Judge, who was playing like he's playing MLB The Show with all of his sliders up. He was 3 for 4. Giancarlo Stanton was 1 of 2 with a couple walks. So Giancarlo's, people are pitching around him. Later on, I think it was in the 7th inning, he came up and he struck out. I would have rather like a better at bat, but hey, it is what it is with Stanton. When he's hot and he's on, he's the best hitter in the world. But when he's off and he's always a little bit cold, you're going to see what you saw when it came to that strikeout last night. And then the cleanup hitter, Gleyber Torres, who apparently turns into Barry Bonds whenever he faces the Baltimore Orioles, but he was 0 for 3 with a walk. He had a couple foul balls down the line that he was just a little bit early on that almost went out for home runs. So hopefully, if he's a lot more patient tonight, he could probably knock one out. Hopefully, I'm calling it right now. Tuesday, May 24th, 11:27 in the morning. I believe Gleyber Torres will hit a home run tonight. Now, if I'm lying, I'm flying. After Gleyber Torres, we had IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the shortstop. He was 0 for 4. And then we had Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks was 2 for 4 last night. What? I was watching the game. I didn't even realize that. Oh, almost cursed. Estevan Florial was 1 for 4 last night. Shout out to the rookie for getting a hit. Esti Floriali. Oh, wow. Guarantee you Josh Stoner's going to use that. The catcher, Jose Trevino, he was batting 8 last night. And Marwin Gonzalez was the third baseman, was 1 for 4. Now, we understand Josh Donaldson was put on the COVID injury list. He was suspended also by Major League Baseball for 1 game. He's appealing it, by the way. I think if he wants to just move on for this, take his suspension, take it like a knock on the chin and keep it moving. But DJ LeMahieu has been struggling. DJ LeMahieu's batting average is in the 250s. Ever since, he got over 300 a week or so ago, me and Foxy was losing it. But ever since then, it's been offers. It's been donuts. So DJ LeMahieu got a well-deserved night off. Because listen, these span of games that we're playing, it's like 21, 22 straight, no days off. They had the rain out the other day, which was well needed on Friday in order to get it like just a cheap random off day. Had a doubleheader Sunday. I understand this. Give the man a day off. I get it, especially after how hot and intense it was this weekend. But from the pitching side of it, Garrett Cole, he gave you 8 innings, 8 strong, solid innings. He did give up 7 hits. He did give up 5 earned runs, 1 via the home run, and 4 in that 3rd inning when he struggled. He only walked 1, and he struck out 11. Garrett Cole gave us exactly what we needed, but he just had that rocky 3rd inning. Wandy Peralta last night, he came in after Garrett Cole. He pitched the inning, gave up 2 hits, and gave up a run. That made it 6-4. So it made it a little bit harder in the 9th inning for the Yankees to try to get a rally going. We had 1 guy on. We just couldn't get the ball going. We couldn't get anybody on to extend the inning to Anthony Rizzo, to extend to Aaron Judge. We're trying to get Aaron Judge another AB in the 9th inning. And batting him in the 2-hole, I understand it now. You have a better chance of batting at the end of the game. But hey, that's baseball, Susan. Now, when it comes to Josh Donaldson getting suspended, like I said, take it on the chin. You messed up. You did something that a 12-year-old would do. So you got to take your punishment, take it on the chin. Now, what I've seen from a lot of Yankee fans has been deflection, which is understandable. Not really. But the deflection has been, oh, well, Josh Donaldson got suspended by MLB. Why haven't, the Houston Astros players been suspended for that cheating? I understand it. You want MLB to dish out punishments, but come on. We're talking about one conversation. Let's address this conversation before we try to bring something totally different into the fold. Let me see. Should we make a deal for Wilson Contreras? Absolutely. Yo, Keith, absolutely. I wanted that during the offseason. But Wilson Contreras, he's the type of catcher we need. You know, he's a, let's see. Grandel needs to also be suspended. Absolutely. I agree with you. Grandel was the one that came up to Donaldson and he pressed him about it. Agree with you. Agree with you. Josh Donaldson's a dick also. But I agree with you that Grandel needs to be suspended. But the catching situation with Wilson Contreras, free Wilson, absolutely. Let's start that hashtag today. Hashtag free Wilson. Wilson! But for Wilson Contreras, it's gonna depend on what the Chicago Cubs want. Now the Chicago Cubs are going to try to fleece us. That's just no. Got Theo Epstein over there. No, Theo Epstein left, so you don't got Theo Epstein over there. But the Cubs are going to try to fleece us because we fleeced them when we got Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman. They got a World Series out of it, but we fleeced them for just a half a season. We got Gleyber Torres, but I would love Wilson Contreras in the Bronx for the fact that he's a winner, his attitude. And when you look back on those Yankees teams before Jorge Posada, and I said this yesterday with Jiggerman, before Jorge Posada was the full-time catcher for the Yankees, it was Joe Girardi. And we got Joe Girardi from the Chicago Cubs when he came over. And the only reason we got him was because he's defensive-minded. Now, Wilson Contreras, defensive-minded. Probably the best defensive catcher in the game. Yadi Molina had that title, but Yadi is not, he's not a spring chicken anymore. But Wilson Contreras is the best defensive catcher in all of Major League Baseball. The thing is, his numbers, when it comes to hitting, I don't want him to hit. I'm just worried about him controlling the game, bringing that attitude, and bringing that winning pedigree to that Yankees clubhouse. We already have one of his teammates in Anthony Rizzo. Bringing in Wilson Contreras to the fold, it's just going to add to it. I'm tired of seeing Higashioka, and, I love what we've gotten out of Jose Trevino, so I'm not trying to beat up on him. But it's kind of depressing when you got runners on the corners, runners in scoring position, a runner on second and third, and we can't get just a single. We can't get a sacrifice fly out of these backup catches. And that's what they both are. Both Higashioka and Trevino, they're both backup catchers in the major leagues, they're being forced to be starters right now. And that's just not them. And I don't think it's fair to them. It's not fair to them that they get this microscope whenever a mistake happens. Higashioka, he's top 3 in baseball when it comes to pass balls from catchers. So that has to change. When it comes to hitting, Kyle Higashioka it's like 140, 150, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron Hicks apparently spoke to Bernie Williams over the weekend. That's why he's been getting a couple hits here or there. But Aaron Hicks, you need to understand that having Estevan Florial up here in the Bronx, this is that fire that needs to be set under your butt. Now, we got Joey Gallo, who was put on the COVID IL list, and Higashioka put on the COVID IL list. So this is an opportunity for Florial to show that he needs to stay here in the majors, that he can't stay here in the majors. He's not a quadruple A player. He does great and phenomenal in triple A, but when it comes to the majors, it's not transferred over. We've seen that a lot of from players. They're quadruple A players. Clint Frazier, perfect example. Whenever Clint Frazier was in the minors when he was with the Yankees, he was hitting well above 350, 370, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as he came up here to the Bronx, he couldn't hit. Granted, injuries was a big part of it. The whole concussion thing, I understand that. Wish him the best. But I'm not going to beat around the bush. Young man could have hit in the Bronx. He had 1 year that I think it was double digits home runs that he had. But after that, it was over. Nothing else. Oh, shout out my guy Nixon 30. What is good, my guy? But when it comes to Wilson Contreras, it's just going to be what are the Cubs going to want? Now, there's a few prospects that the Yankees have that I would not want to give up on. But Yankee fans have it in their head, Juan Soto, and I'm one of those as well. I want to see Juan Soto in the Bronx. But I'm going to ask you guys, would you rather see the Yankees trade for Wilson Contreras like Keith brought up, hashtag free Wilson? Wilson! Yankees also trade for Andrew Benintendi, who's having a phenomenal years with the Kansas City Royals. It is his walk year, so it's not that deep, not that heavy committed. Or would you want the Yankees to trade for Juan Soto? In my opinion, as much as I would love to see Juan Soto, I understand how much prospects that's going to cost. Me personally, at this moment, I would rather see the Yankees trade for both Wilson Contreras and Andrew Benintendi. Instead of trying to just load up on one position, spread the wealth around. Give up some prospects for Wilson Contreras. Give up some prospects for Andrew Benintendi, who's a left-handed hitter that you could just put in left field. He could play center field here and there. He can't, not all the time. But that's a move that I would love to see. Hey, Leroy, what is good? Hope all is well. Salute, salute, salute. Uncle Foxy is in the building. Uncle Foxy, what is good? Hope all is well, Foxy. Now, with Foxy just coming in, I'm going to ask the question again. Uncle Fox, the sly one, would you rather see the Yankees unload the prospects to get Juan Soto in the Bronx and give him that big contract extension that's probably going to be $50 million a year? Or would you rather see the Yankees spread their prospects around and trade for Wilson Contreras from the Cubs, Andrew Benintendi from the Royals, who's a left-handed hitter that you could just put in left field? And hey, there's also Luis Castillo from the Cincinnati Reds. So you got three options. It's either unload the farm system from Juan Soto, or use those same exact prospects and spread it around and get a Wilson Contreras, Andrew Benintendi, and a Luis Castillo. I see my guy Keith. Keith has his mind. So he said, clear the farm system for Soto. That's plan A. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now it's all going to come down to, are the Yankees going to flex their financial muscle, right? We talked about it yesterday. You got Steven Strasburg coming back from injury. He's been well injured ever since he, signed that big contract. They got Patrick Corbin making a lot of money. So do you want to tell the Royals, like, listen, call them up, like, beep, 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 like, hey, Nationals, hey, what's up? We can help you with these contracts. Let's take some money, give us some of those contracts, and you can have some prospects. Not the top prospects, because we're taking all this money. So we'll take your money situation, throw in some prospects, and you give us Juan Soto. That could be a situation. Roy says, we should wait and see if we need relief pitching. I agree 100%, especially when you got Chad Green, who's going under the knife for Tommy John surgery. Probably pitched his last pitch for the Yankees in a Yankees uniform. Absolutely. Especially when you have a Aroldis Chapman, who MRIs came back negative for the Achilles, but the Yankees still put him on the injured list just so he could get himself right, and he has to figure it out. Now, my man Foxy, the sly one, he says, I'm old. If we have no closer and a starter that have a history of injuries, all the hitting is not going to help. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And when you look at that Yankees rotation, as great as Severino has been so far, as great as Nestor Cortez has been so far, even Jameson Taillon as good so far, Jordan Montgomery, J-Mo, you got J-Mo, Taillon, and Luis Severino. All three of those pitchers have had Tommy John surgery. All three of those pitchers within the past 2 seasons have been recovering and trying to come back from Tommy John surgery. We've seen it last year with Jordan Montgomery and Jameson Taillon, J-Mo. And we see it this year with Severino. Now, Nestor Cortez doesn't have that injury history, but Nestor Cortez never pitched as a full-fledged starter in a whole season for his career. So you know how they have that magical number that they don't let you pass that 150. Same thing for Severino because he's coming back from injury, that 150. I don't think the Yankees are going to allow Severino and Nestor Cortez to go over 150 innings this year. Luis Hill was supposed to be one of our young pitching prospects that was supposed to spot start here and there, make a name for himself, but him as well. He's gone down with Tommy John surgery, and we're probably not going to see Luis Hill until 2024. He's going to be out for the rest of this year. He's going to be out for all of next year. We're not going to see Luis Hill to 2024. Same thing with Chad Green. That's if Chad Green is pitching for the Yankees. I doubt it because that's just how the business is. Roy said, yeah, we need to deal for pitching, not Soto. Yep. That's why I threw out there the Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo to me is interesting because, he's always been able to have solid seasons, especially in that bandbox he pitches in Cincinnati, but at the same time, Luis Castillo is somebody who's battled injuries these past couple of years. So in baseball, pitching is very fragile. If you guys seen that show Squid Game, MLB pitching is like that game at the end with the bridge and the glass, and you got to jump from one to the other to get to the end. That's what an MLB season feels like. At the end, it's the World Series, and you just got to jump through those glasses all the way to get to the end. But pitching is very fragile in MLB baseball. Pitching is a commodity that if you have, you hold on to it. Look at the Milwaukee Brewers. Look at their starting rotation. Not many people called up the Brewers about veteran players that they just want the prospects for, and they said no. Granted, they hit on every one of those prospects, and they were bad for a few years in a row, but the Brewers did it the right way. The Seattle Mariners looking like they're doing it the right way. I know the Angels have been spending a lot of money here and there, spending, but it's finally starting to pay off because they have a comparable team over there in the West Coast. Finally, we may see Mike Trout in the playoffs. We may see Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs. I know they're in second place right now behind the Houston Astros and the Astros themselves. The Astros, they look like they're that monster they were when they won the championship a few years ago. Granted, our record is better, but they still look like a phenomenal team over there. You have to give your credit to them. The White Sox look like they're getting healthy. They're turning it around. My guy Keith says our team ERA is third best in MLB. It's the best stat of the season. Absolutely. 100%. But, you never know when that Cinderella shoe is going to fall off, especially when it comes to pitching. I want to have faith that our pitching, our starting rotation, this is something that they can carry for the rest of the year. Let's see. Foxy said, think out of the box. Move Glaber to the outfield and give Volpe or Peraza a chance at second base. That's not bad. I'd rather give to Peraza than Volpe at the moment, just because Volpe is struggling. Peraza is having a better season, but that's not a bad choice. And what do you got to lose? Glaber, you seen it the other day when they had four outfielders. Glaber was basically in left field the other day. What do you got to lose? I can rather live with a Miguel Andujar in left field than Joey Gallo. I can live with Gleyber Torres trying to figure out left field than having Joey Gallo out there. Period. You have nothing to lose. And like Keith said, Altuve. Yep. Mr. I don't want to take my jersey off. Mr. I don't want to show my chest because, this is a team game, family watches, whatever. What I see you. I see you over there. But yeah, Foxy, I actually like that. I actually like that a lot, especially when the Yankees had the idea of, we're going to put Miguel Andujar on left field because he can't play third base. Cool, copy. Gleyber Torres had a horrible time at shortstop. We got another infielder in DJ LeMay who plays second base. We got a third baseman in Josh Donaldson. Why didn't Gleyber Torres get any reps out in the outfield? Why? Then those are moves that it's like that never happens as a head scratcher. Because if you have faith in putting Miguel Andujar out in left field, then why not try Gleyber Torres? especially in the season, when you add an extra infielder like Josh Donaldson. Now you have DJ LeMahieu and Josh Donaldson and Gleyber Torres rotating between second base, third base, and DH. One person getting a day off here and there. So, Foxy, like always, bring in the gems, Foxy. Bring in the gems like always, Fox. But hey, guys, I'm going to just preview the game tonight because, we do have another game tonight before we dip out, because it's getting about that time. Oh, man. Let's check it out. Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right. So tonight, you have the 18-25 Baltimore Orioles going against the 29-13 Yankees. The Orioles will be sending Brew Zimmerman to the mound, left-handed pitcher. On the season, Brew Zimmerman is 2-2 with a 3.48 ERA. His whip, 1.26. And in 41 innings, he's given up 42 hits and struck out 34. He has 10 walks and 4 home runs. It's a solid year for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Jordan Montgomery will be on the mound as well. Another left-handed pitcher. Jordan Montgomery is 0-1 in the season because the Yankees do not like to score runs whenever Jordan Montgomery is pitching. He has a 3.35 ERA with a 1.12 whip. And in 40 and a third innings, he's only given up 37 hits, struck out 32, only walked 8, but also he's given up 4 home runs. So Brew Zimmerman and Jordan Montgomery almost having identical seasons. Montgomery's ERA is a bit lower. Zimmerman's whip is a bit higher. Zimmerman pitched an extra inning, giving up more hits, struck out more, only by 2 extra walks. So, it'll be an even matchup tonight. Now, hitting-wise, they haven't released the lineup yet, right? They haven't. But the Yankees, Ben Rohrback, is on a 60-day IL. He has that oblique issue. Higashioka, COVID. Chad Green, man, I just hope Chad Green is able to find himself in 2024 at the end of next year with a major league team. Aroldis Chapman got that Achilles situation that they're going to put him on the IL. And Josh Donaldson is out. Josh Donaldson is on the COVID list from the Yankees, but also is going to have to face that 1-game suspension for Major League Baseball, which he's trying to appeal. Now, did MLB get it right with a 1-game suspension? I'm not sure. Should it have been longer? Maybe. Should he have gotten a suspension? That's up in the air. But like other people have been saying, if Josh Donaldson is going to be held accountable for this, which he should be, then we need Major League Baseball to hold those Houston Astros players accountable. Is one of those players on our team? Absolutely. If you got to suspend Marwin Gonzalez, hey, suspend Marwin Gonzalez. I don't care. Garrett Cole, he wasn't a pitcher. I mean, he wasn't one of the hitters, but he was a pitcher that knew what was going on. Are we going to suspend Garrett Cole? Why not? Every player that was on that team needs to be held accountable. We've seen Carlos Beltran lose a managerial job because of it. Now we got to listen to him in the booth with Michael Kay. I don't know what's worse, him being fired and losing that spot to be a manager, or us Yankee fans having to hear him try to make Michael Kay sound somewhat like a commentator. I'm not sure. But my favorite person in that booth is Cameron Maybin. Cameron Maybin is the smoothest. Cameron Maybin is the sharpest. If you guys have a chance, follow Cameron Maybin on social media, especially when he's doing these Yankee games. Because Cameron Maybin, Clyde Frazier, I'm going to need you to pay attention. Pop, 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 pop. Knock on the door. I'm going to need you to step your game up this year because Cameron Maybin is coming for that crown as the best dressed announcer in New York City sports. You got some competition, War Clyde Frazier. But guys, this has been another phenomenal episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. KOD Media, we totally appreciate you. Nights of DJing. You degenerates, wake up and smell the coffee. Totally appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Share this on all social medias. Let's see. I love Carlos B, but commentary is not his thing. Yep. Absolutely. Carlos Beltran sounds like the kid from class that he just finished ESL and they asked him to read a paragraph in the book. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of him because, sometimes I have a hard time reading or whatever, but you need to be a manager, Beltran, or I can deal with Beltran as long as he has Cameron Maben there. Believe me, my Spanish is not the best in the world as a Puerto Rican, and Beltran would probably be able to talk me out the box. But when it comes to speaking Spanish, I ain't the best at it. I kind of sound like Beltran does with the English. But hey, love you guys. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Roy, thank you so much for tuning in. Totally appreciate you. Uncle Foxy, 100%. My guy Keith, Mr. Saunders, appreciate you. Thank you for your service, like always. My man DSJ Jr. Got Still Nick fans, Ron in the building. Thank you guys so much. Totally appreciate you all. And like always, guys, it's been a great episode of Yankees Morning Brew. I love the picture with you, Bernie, and Mario. Pic of you, Bernie. Absolutely. Peace, guys.